And I believe we are now live. Hey guys, I thought I'd do a bit of a live because it's one of the first weekends where I've had a good chunk of time free for a long while. I don't have any videos to make, I don't have any work to do, so I thought I'd jump on and chat a bit of Strongman and general Q&A on a live stream. Let's see who we have in. Obviously we have Fred saying that I changed the time on him. Yeah, I originally had this scheduled for 2:30 and then realised, of course, UK's Strongest Man was live 1:30 till 4:30, so I wanted to watch that and I thought I'd chuck this on just after that finished, so I've just finished watching that. Alex is in the chat saying, had that pirate theme comp a couple of weeks ago, came last but it was an absolute blast. Lots of experienced lifters doing the novice comp, hitting lots of PBs, that sort of thing, and that's the main thing. Like, I could come last in any comp that I've done and I'll still absolutely love it and smash it. Like, the only reason I ever compete is never to win or anything, it's just to test where I'm at, see where I'm at, have some fun, and that's what it's all about. So yeah, honestly, winning doesn't really matter as long as you're beating yourself. Alex is also saying, don't sleep on Reno for the log ladder. They did a very similar ladder at SCL Italy that he won, and also think that he'll be in the mix with Paddy and Mitch on deadlift. Yeah, honestly, long gone are the days of me sleeping on Reno Nell, to be honest. Like, I don't catch a lot of the Strongman Champions League stuff because obviously the Strongman Champions League make it quite difficult to catch some of their stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've got Reno predicted on my podium, second place to Mitch. I wouldn't be surprised if he's first. I think he has an absolutely brilliant shot at winning the Strongman Classics, so definitely not sleeping on him. But yeah, I don't think I mentioned him on the deadlift, but that is a very good point. He did get 8 at Worlds and looked good for more. Jane saying, just finished watching UK's, impressed with William Jones coming in last minute and smashing it. Yes, me too, absolutely. William Jones did awesome. I think he got the call up, yeah, like on Friday, and he comes in, does really, really well. That was awesome. And yeah, it was Group B Heat today, finals next weekend. Yeah, Paddy did really well yesterday for Heat 1, coming in and winning fairly comfortably. I think we expected it. Obviously, Paddy's 5th in the world right now, so we expected him to do well at UK's. But yeah, he did really well, especially on the press as well. I think he did like a 150 kilo split jerk for 9 or 10 reps, something like that. It was really good anyway, like really, really good. Speaking of really good overhead, did anyone see Jack Osborne's 200 kilo one motion on the log? That was absolutely ridiculous. Like, that was crazy. Genuinely mind-boggling how that man can press that sort of weight. Yeah, Jane saying Paddy did great on the overhead, impressive progress on the split jerk. Yeah, he's getting more and more comfortable with that. I think this year we're going to see Paddy take off a bit with his pressing. I mean, we've seen he just done I think he did a 170 log that looked really, really easy, and for Paddy that's like immense. So it's going to be very interesting at Royal Albert Hall to see how that log ladder goes. Andrew saying, who is at UK's final? That is a good question. I literally did just watch it and I couldn't tell you the final standings. Someone in the chat's got to know, someone like Jane or someone's going to have a better list. I'd rather not try and say and get it all wrong, but yeah, I did literally just finish watching it and I can't remember. Like, it's obviously the names we expected are there. It's some of the newer names to me that I can't remember, so I'll let someone else fill you in there. Alex saying, if Reno manages to win Royal Albert Hall, he will officially beat Mitch's win streak. Yeah, that's crazy, to be fair. And I could see it happening. Like, Reno's on top form at the minute. And I think it's a very, very smart decision from him to sit out of the Strongest Man on Earth this year. Probably a very hard decision for him, for sure. But I think it's a good decision for him. I think it'll provide him a much more longevity. Because, yeah, that's a tough competition to prepare for on short notice. And I respect him for not going all in, trying to do everything all at once. You know, still putting a lot of stock in his work. Obviously, it sounds like he's got a very important job being a director of an engineering firm. And, you know, it's really cool to see someone like Reno, because a lot of people say Strongman isn't everything. Strongman isn't isn't life and death. And then Rayner's one of those people who just like shows that in his actions, in the way he carries himself. Like, he's not full time. He's not trying to do a YouTube channel. He's not trying to push merch. He's just trying to do strongman while keeping and maintaining a job. So I respect it, honestly. I really do. Fred say, for a microsecond I thought Jack would miss it, but damn, it was impressive. Yeah, it's just completely ridiculous and mind-boggling, honestly. Like, that sort of weight to comprehend overhead is just mental. It is ridiculous. Like, it's, yeah, there's no real words. And especially, like, to press it is insane, let alone to one motion it like that. And I believe that is the heaviest one motion on a log that we've seen. I can't think of any off the top of my head that are heavier. I know people have done, like, 180, 190 sort of area before, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone do a 200. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember anyone doing it, honestly. So, but yeah, I'm very pleased that this sort of strongman lull we've been having since Worlds is finally coming to an end with, obviously, UK's Strongest Man and then Strongman Classic, and then we're fully back into it. I've been missing the Pro Strongman a bit. Obviously, there's been SELs and stuff happening, but again, as I said, it's hard to watch those and hard to keep up with those because they don't make it easy. But like having UK's Strongest Man live on TV, fantastic. And I mean, more people have heard, especially in the UK, more people have heard of UK's Strongest Man than they have even Britain's Strongest Man, just because of how easily accessible it is live on TV. It's promoted really well. And it's a really good, fun comp, to be fair. Like, obviously, the standard is slightly lower than, like, Giants Live, but it's still a very tough comp and a very fun comp to watch. So, yeah, they do it right over there. I can definitely say that they do it really, really well. And it proves that Strongman can be done as a live TV show. There's no reason why we need to, stick to the old TV show ways of World's Strongest Man. But yeah, I'm very pleased that the Strongman lull's coming to an end. I'm getting more and more hyped for the Strongman Classic as the days go on. And it's still a couple of weeks away. But something I am really hyped about is I did finally get my tickets to the World Deadlift Championships in Birmingham. I've confirmed that I'm free that day to go watch it in person, which is going to be awesome. I've been to the Deadlift Champs before when it was hosted in Cardiff, because I used to live in Cardiff. And then when they took it to Vegas, I was like, that was like my one local Giants Live that I always went to, and now they brought it back to Birmingham, which is even closer than Cardiff to me now. It's great, so I'm really pleased that I got my tickets for that. I'm really excited to go watch that in person. Jane saying the UK finals are Andy Flynn, William Jones, Alex Ferry, Dean Mason, Jacob Brook, Scott Milne, Paddy Haynes, Paul Smith, Matt Diamond, Jamie Nelson, Chris Beetham, and Drew Redfern. So there you go, those are the UK's finals. Yeah, I said, like, the names there that I recognise, I would have been able to tell you, but there's a couple of names there that were new to me this time round. Jane's saying that she'll be at Brum. Yeah, I'm hoping there'll be a lot of people there. I'm hoping it'll be a good, fun day out. I'm not sure what the plan is for me yet. I'm kind of tempted to turn up like way earlier and just do a bit of mooching around Birmingham city centre, because I'd never go outside, to be honest. I never leave the house, so it'd be good to have a bit of an explore. Hopefully bump into some people that I know. But yeah, it should be a really fun day. I'm hoping that we see a lot of cool, good deadlifters at this. Obviously, we got the likes of Bish and people doing it, so I feel like it's going to be a really fun show. But yeah, finally getting back out to another Giants Live. I need to get to more. I really do, but it's just travel's a lot. It's expensive in the UK. Like, obviously, I could just drive, but getting trains, getting parking, that sort of thing, it's a pain. Which I'm sure, the Americans just laugh at me for saying like a 2-hour drive is a pain, but it is. And I'm just so busy at the minute, it's hard to know if I'm going to be free. Like, I would have loved to go to Royal Albert Hall, but I would have needed to know that I'd be free that weekend before the tickets sold out, and they sold out ages ago, so it's just, I wouldn't have wanted to buy tickets and then find out I wouldn't be able to go. Jane saying Jack should be at the Log Lift Champs. Completely agree. If they don't invite Jack even like obviously, I'd love to see him do the full show, but even just as a guest lifter on the log, like, he absolutely deserves to be there, and he's proven that he's definitely in contention for the British record, if not the world record. So I think Jack should absolutely be there, for sure. What are some other names that we'd like to see at the log champs? Like, Lucas Hatton would be awesome to see there, for sure. Obviously, Bibby as well. Andre Foytu would be awesome at the log champs. He followed me on Instagram yesterday. That was a win. But yeah, lots of guys that I think I'd like to see at the log champs. What about the deadlift champs? Is there anyone not confirmed for the deadlift champs that you would love to see there? Obviously, Thor is the big one. But you know, I'd like to see Paddy at the deadlift champs, just to see what Paddy can do when he needs to go for a deadlift for max. I don't think he's been for one for like a very long time. Obviously, we've seen him be sick for reps, so it'd be cool to give him the opportunity to go for a proper max. Same with a lot of the British guys, actually. A lot of them haven't been able to go for a max relatively recently, so it'd be interesting to see. Lots of deadlift for reps recently, or like 18-inch deadlift, obviously at Worlds, but we haven't seen like a proper solid deadlift for max, apart from at the likes of Rogue, Arnold's with like elephant bar, Shaw with the raw deadlift. Like, we haven't seen just a proper solid deadlift for max where it isn't like a super American heavy competition. So it'd be interesting to see. Jane wants to see Inez for the log lift, like they have Lucy for the deadlift. Yeah, I think that'd be phenomenal. I really do. I think that'd be sick to see. Alex saying, I want to go to the Royal Albert Hall someday, not even just for a strongman comp. Some of my favourite bands have played there. There's so much history there. Yeah, I've never been either. Like, I've only ever been to London once, and it was a very quick passing visit. So I'd love to actually go and like see it in person. It looks like a really, really cool venue. Lots of, as you say, lots of history. I'd love to go there for the strongman. Obviously, that's my thing. So, but yeah. It's such an awesome venue. It's so cool that we're getting Strongman back in there now, because obviously, like, you used to have the likes of like Sandow and that there, and obviously I am very read up on my history. I've got all the old Strongman books that I've read, so it's really cool to see Strongman back there. I'm a proper little nerd for Strongman, as you can probably all tell. What do we think about Mark Felix going for the Hercules hold record at Royal Albert Hall? Do we think he gets it? I think he does this time, you know. I know he's tried a few times and fallen just short, but I think this time, you know, that being the sole focus for a long time, like, he's not been doing too much other strongman. And I believe he was working with Paddy at one point for grip coaching, but I'm not sure if he still is. I think it's going to be interesting. Jane's been to every Strongman Classic. It's their favourite. Such a great atmosphere and really close to the action. Yeah, it always looks absolutely awesome. And everyone I know who's been has said it's their absolute favourite. So I really should get there for the next one, if I can. Alex saying, one thing I wish Giants Live would do specifically for the Royal Albert Hall would be to include a classic circus lift to pay homage to the old timers. Yeah, I think that would be really cool, like a proper classic feat of strength, even if it's not like part of the actual strongman competition. If it's more like they did the frying pan rolling at Europe's Strongest Man with Magnus Samuelsson, just something like during the break, just a like an old timey feat, or some feats of strength with some of those like cool circus strongman guys you see on Instagram and stuff. I think it'd be really cool to do. Jane saying, I think Reno gets the Herc record. Honestly, I could absolutely see it. Like, really, really good. Reno has been phenomenal. And on Herc hold on his first attempt doing sick. Like, there's actually quite a few really good Herc holders at the Strongman Classic this year. I think it'll be interesting, because I think people will actually have to push close to the record to get to the event win on that. Alex saying, last year he said he'll break it if he has more than 2 weeks to prep, which he has had this year. Yeah, I believe it, genuinely. Fred saying, would love to go to Royal Albert Hall, but way too expensive for a one-day show. Yeah, I can imagine it being very pricey for you to come over. I mean, it's expensive for me, and I live a couple hours away. Alex saying, something like a backlift, Steinborn, or Zercher squat from the floor. Yeah, that would be really cool. Like, imagine having like a Steinborn squat record attempt is like a halftime show or something. It'd be like, something really cool like that. I'm not sure if Steinborn squat would be like a good strongman event for like a competition. I think I'd sooner rather just like a normal squat for reps or something. But definitely as like an exhibition lift midway through the show, give something to the crowd. I think it'd be a really cool idea to see something like that. Get someone like Martins, who's very good at that, to come do it. I think it'd be awesome. What are some other cool like halftime things we could do for like strongman comps? Obviously with the frying pan rolling, there's all the other stuff like phone book tearing, card tearing, that sort of thing. That's all kind of cool. Obviously the Hercules hold record's a good one to have there. It's nice and chill. I'd love to see more stuff like that, just more like entertaining bits in between the action to give the athletes at Giants Live like maybe 5-10 minutes rest before like a heavy event like the deadlift or something. I think it'd be really cool. There's definitely some good ideas there that I can't bring to my mind. Grip stuff would be really good for that sort of thing, like Thomas inch dumbbell record attempts, trying to get up, like 110 kilo dumbbell or something like that. Loads of cool stuff like that. Yeah, Alex saying it's easy to forget that barbells and dumbbells were invented for circus performance, not fitness. Yeah, for sure. Like all of this stuff started out in circus and performance before people did it for general strength training, which is all I think is really cool about it. Like, it's just grown so much since then. It's awesome to look back at the history. It really is. How have my fellow UK people been coping with the weather this week? Like, I am about to make anyone who is from the UK and here quite jealous. This big white box here, this is a portable air conditioner that pumps out the window. So it has been lovely and cool in this little room for me for the last week. I've got it down to like 18 degrees. It's been top tier. The only problem is I can't use it in the gym, in the garage, because there's no windows or anything to pump the hot air out of, so it just doesn't work. It makes the room even hotter. So training's been awful, but for the rest of the time working and stuff, I've got my air conditioner, which is making it so much more bearable for sure. I can't have it on now. I'm really warm now. I'm sweating quite a bit, but I can't have it on because it's so loud that it would be awful for the stream if I had it on. Andrew saying Saturday was too muggy. Oh, it absolutely was. Saturday was very, very humid. Very humid. I actually went on a hike on Friday afternoon, which was absolutely baking. I'm surprised I didn't get sunburnt, to be honest. Like, it was roasting. I did about 15-16 kilometres up a big hill, and it was properly, like, toasty. Alex saying, it's wild to me that American football teams rejected weight training for decades because they thought it would slow down athletes and dull their reflexes. Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like, if anything, strength training for me has only made me faster and more explosive. Like, I never done any really other sports, like, at all, since I started training. Like, even when I was younger, I didn't really do much. So, if anything, it's made me better. It is what it is. Fred saying Thomas Inch would be cool, even the Grip Reaper had a hard time with it, and he is strong. Yeah, Thomas Inch is very, very tough. I've floated the proper 78 kilo one off the floor. Never got a full lift, but I've got like this close. I've done a full lift of a 71 kilo inch style dumbbell. But yeah, I'd love to give it another go and try and get that like proper true Thomas Inch up. Jane's also got a portable AC. Can't sleep otherwise, hate the humidity. Yeah, me too. Like, for sure. This heat is far too much for me. Like, I've always said that I function best at like 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. That is like my prime time. Other people like sort of the 15 to 20 range, but I like it a little bit colder. Paget's saying, why do you think Mitch is struggling with trap bar deadlift? I just think it's one of those movements that's like hard, I don't think he's struggling like super much. Obviously his live stream session was beltless and from the true competition height, which is slightly lower than a normal trap bar, and we've seen a lot of the other guys doing a normal trap bar belted, full on. So, like, he obviously is finding it harder than we might have expected, but I wouldn't take like that last live stream as the reason he's like struggling. I just think it's one of those movements, like if you've not done it at all for ages and you've been so focused on regular deadlifts and other strongman movements, it's going to take a few weeks to get used to, like a month maybe. I expect to see when like Strongest Man on Earth actually rolls around, it'll start ramping up better and better while he gets more comfortable, and I think the same across the rest of the guys. I just think it's, a difficult movement to get used to. I hate a trap bar. Like, for me, it's either it takes like 5 or 10 seconds and then you get the rep easy, or you just don't get it at all. It's so hard to gauge. It's such a weird movement. Matt's saying, would love to try proper Thomas Inch. Yeah, I need to have another go on it, honestly. I really, really need to. Alex saying, I broke an inch dumbbell off the floor, barely like a millimetre clearance, but I did. Yeah, me too. That was exactly what happened with me. I got it and it was like, it came up literally a millimetre off the floor and then rolled out my hand. So, yeah, I wonder, I don't even know if my grip's like any stronger now than it was when I tried that, because obviously I haven't really been doing too much grip stuff recently. I've been doing a lot, like, it's all in my program every week. There's at least one grip exercise. And perfectly, Mats has asked, what do I do for grip? So it's a good time to answer that. At the minute, I'm doing very heavy behind the back holds for 30 seconds. And for strongman stuff, being able to hold a bar is really the useful thing. So I've done lots of heavy behind the back holds, fat grip, dead hangs, plate pinching, thick bar holds, like lots of holding and pinching movements and crushing, like bar style grip is what I do mainly. And behind the back holds are by far my favourite exercise of those. I've seen real good progress with behind the back holds. Like, my behind the back hold is very strong compared to a lot of my other lifts. So I've done 200 kilo behind the back hold for 30 seconds and 220, I believe, for 10 seconds. So very strong behind the back hold. So that's my main one that I like to do. But I do a lot of other grip stuff as well, more just for fun. Like a lot of the rolling handles, vertical bars, that sort of thing. But that's more, rather than working on increasing grip strength, just more having fun testing where I'm at. But for strongman specifically, yeah, behind the back holds, any sort of thick bar holding, and yeah, pinch grip, plate pinch. They're the sort of main things that I think are really useful for strongman and what I do week in, week out. Pagget's saying, yeah, it's weird. Before actually seeing the guys try it, I was expecting Mitch to comfortably win the trap bar. Yeah, he's got such big, strong quads. You'd expect it to be a good movement for him, but sometimes it just doesn't suit someone like Mitch. Like, Mitch is obviously a very athletic, strong man, and sometimes trap bar deadlifts suit the more like compact strong man, a bit more like Lucas Hatton, where that position, being an insanely strong squatter, is much better for a trap bar. So it'll be very interesting, I think. And this is exactly why I wanted to see it in a competition. I'm so pleased Brian's put on a max trap bar, because I've been saying for months and years that I wanted to see a max trap bar deadlift, because I think it will shake things up a bit and suit different people. So I'm very excited to see it. Matt's saying he just warms up on deadlifts double overhand. Yeah, I mean, that's good as well. I think for sure just add in behind the back holds, because they're so easy to set up. Like, it's just a barbell, isn't it? So I always stick them on the end of a leg day. That's when they're in my block. So once I finish all my squatting and everything, I just leave the bar on the safeties and do some behind the back holds at the end of leg day. It's the perfect time for me. And yeah, take them nice and heavy, 30 seconds, 3 sets is usually what I do. And that's what I do for grip, and it works fantastically. I mean, my forearms are bigger than my biceps at this point, so it must be doing something. Alex saying, I did 120 pounds on one of the new Rolling Thunders not long ago. I don't know what my best is in pounds. I've done 85 kilo on a Gods of Grip 60mm rolling handle, I believe is my PB on that. Jane asking, what events would we like to see at Rogue as contrast to Smo? Ooh, good question. Good question. I think, how many events is Rogue usually? Is it 6? 6 maybe? 5 or 6? I don't know. I'd love to see some form of like shield type, Husafel type carry for distance, possibly with like a weird crossfitty awkward implement carried. Like, I don't want to see a Husafel sandbag again. Like, we've seen enough of those. I want to see something cool carried in the front rack. Maybe a max distance Zercher carry with just a barbell or a yoke or something would be really cool. But like a max distance carry, I think for the overhead, I'd like to see, I'd really like to see a behind the back jerk for reps like we've just seen at the UK Strongest Man. I thought that event worked really well. I'd like to see it obviously a bit heavier with Rogue, maybe something like 180 kilo or 200 kilo for reps could be really cool. Or perhaps an overhead medley where you go and you do different implements from blocks, maybe like an axle from blocks, a barbell from blocks, I don't know. Something cool like an overhead medley or a behind the back jerk for reps could be really cool. And then I think some form of farmer's walk type thing. We just haven't seen enough farmers walking, in my opinion, and I don't want to see just a run for time. I'd love to see a max weight farmer's walk. I've said this a lot. I know Rogue doesn't tend to do a lot on maxes, but something like have 5 sets of farmer's handles set up ranging from 180 per hand, 190 per hand, 200 per hand, 210 per hand, 220 per hand, each for, let's say, 5 meters, and you can lift as many or as little as them you want. It's like a trump weight setup. So if someone manages to do the 220 for 5 meters, then that beats out the 210 for 5 meters. But let's say you do 210, 5 meters there and back, that's 2 reps, something like that. Like, you kind of get where I'm going with that. A bit like the Stones setup where it's like got a trump weight, but something like that with farmers over a distance. So you can try the 220 per hand for 10 meters or 5 meters, and have it similarly where we've seen before, where the end zones are safe and you can't drop in the middle. Otherwise, that's runs invalidated and you're over. It could be really interesting for strategy. An event like that with Farmer's Walk could be really cool. And then we need some form of like deadlift type thing. Just either like a deadlift ladder, but with different types of deadlifts, like a regular barbell or like an axle into a regular bar into an 18-inch into a trap bar deadlift ladder. Possibly something like that, or just a standard cool looking deadlift for reps at Rogue, I wouldn't mind. And then what else do we have left? I think the Inverstones to the barrels from last year were really cool. I'd like to see that kept. Just, something natural stones as well. And then I also really like, was it yoke into power stairs they did, where it was like 5 lanes and everyone running up it? I think that event was really cool. So have those events. But Rogue, again, they like their massive spectacle events as well. But with it being in Aberdeen, are they going to ship over something like the Rogue Coaster? I don't know. But any of those like Wheel of Pain Rogue Coasters, again, I'd love to see a return of. I feel like Rogue does a really good idea. Ned Flanders saying Trey Mitchell is the definition of an absolute unit. He fully is. Trey is an absolute beast. Alex saying Mitch is very adamant that trap bar is more of a squat than a deadlift. It absolutely is. Trap bar deadlift has always been on my leg day. It's never been on my deadlift day. And if that doesn't tell you that it's more of a squat than a deadlift, I don't know what does. Like, it just fully is. I only feel it in my legs. It does nothing for my back trap bar. It gets my traps going a bit, but it's fully legs. I completely agree. Matt's saying, I kind of agree with Mitch on that, but it would be all about leverages. For me, I feel a lot more in my quads when doing a trap bar deadlift. Yeah, me too. My leverages make it far more squatty than deadlifty for sure. Alex saying, I hope Rogue brings out the crazy apparatus this year. That was missing last year with the move to Scotland, but something like a Rogue Coaster Wheel of Pain or Tower of Power. Yeah, I really agree. I love their love their like Rogue Coaster stuff. It just looks so cool. I feel like it can get a bit lost in translation a little bit with like how difficult something like that actually is. But I feel like the Wheel of Pain does a really good job of showing like, okay, this is a massive thing that these guys are moving. Jane's liking the farmer's idea. Yeah, I think it'd be really cool. Like, it's hard to sort of package nicely, but I think it would be really interesting because we see a hell of a lot of farmers for time, farmers for distance, but we never see something like a max weight farmers where I want to see. I'm sick of seeing these guys doing 150 per hand for 20 meters as fast as they can, because like I've done 140 per hand for 10 meters, fine. Like, I'd love to see them go ridiculous and see how heavy they can actually take farmer's walk. Like, have the weights go up ridiculous. Have it start at something most of these guys should be able to do, like a 160 per hand or something. And then have a 180 per hand option, a 200 per hand option, and a 220 per hand option. And each be on a 5 meter course or a 10 meter course, with the end zones being safe. And see what trumps what. I think it'd be really cool. Like a Trump farmer's walk idea, I think it'd be really awesome. And it's not like it's a hard thing to set up. Like, farmer's handles are some of the most easy bits of strongman kit for people to get a hand on. So I think it'd be a really cool excuse to see how heavy these guys can go on a farmer's walk. So yeah, I'd love to see it at some point. Ned saying, I'd love to see a max axle deadlift at some point. Yeah, me too. I really would. Like, I'd like to see like the Giants Live axle setup taken for max instead of reps. Like, they use the same axles all the time. I'd love to see it for max rather than reps just once, you know? And I feel like maybe, say 505 falls at the World Deadlift Championships this year, which I'm not sure it will, but say it does, then we can have a break one year at the World Deadlift Champs and have the max axle deadlift be the thing, you know? And I think we don't even need to wait for the World Deadlift Championships for that. I feel like there's so many other Giants Lives that would fit in perfectly. I think it'd be really cool. I think it'd be a really cool event at World's Strongest Man as well. Like, you know, instead of having the max 18-inch in the final, have a max axle deadlift in the final, using the same sort of wheels that we use at Giants Live from a standard height. And let's see how heavy these guys can do with absolutely no whip. Fred saying, interesting event idea. Medicine ball, throw and catch. Throw it up 5 meters and catch it. I think we will see some people hitting their faces with medicine balls. Now, I like the idea of the medicine ball throw at Brian Shaw, like Eddie Hall threw that one at Brian, was it? Or is it the other way around? Or was it Brian throwing it at Eddie? I can't remember, actually. But from that one video where he throws the ball at the back of his head. No, I think that would be very dangerous, but, you know. Also, let me remind you all to like the stream, share it around. Obviously, it was a bit of a random one. I wasn't expecting this one to get too much viewership, just because, you know, it's not round World's Strongest Man. It was just a bit of a random one I threw together today. But if you guys are enjoying them, I'll definitely do more of these live streams when I get the time. So yeah, show your support by liking the video, you know, all that fun stuff. But yeah. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay on. We've been about half hour so far, maybe another half an hour or so, something like that. Fred saying, Eddie started it, Brian finished it. And that sounds like the case most of the time, for sure. Alex saying, Arnold's did a medicine ball for height back in the day. Vasil tore his bicep on it. Yeah, that kind of explosive movement like that is probably nasty. Especially depending on how heavy they take it. Now I see people make like 80 kilo medicine balls now. It's ridiculous. Ned saying, axle clean and front squat for reps, lol. You know what? I would not hate seeing a front squat for reps at a strongman comp. I think front squats are awesome. Maybe without the clean. Like a continental clean into a front squat is probably the most disgusting strongman event I've ever heard of. But a front squat for reps could be a really interesting strongman event, to be honest. I know it's very gym lifty, but I like it. I do like it. And I like a front squat. I kind of like that idea. I don't hate it. You know, I really don't hate it. Let's think of some more fun events that we could do that don't get done. Max Zercher from the floor. Oh, that's nasty. No, do you think any of these strongmen are going to have the mobility to do a Zercher from the floor like that? Like, I don't think many of them. Imagine like fucking 6'9" Thor trying to get a Zercher from the floor on a barbell. It's just not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. Like, I've done it before myself, but even I struggled a bit. Like, imagine some of these like 6'7", 6'9" guys trying to get down to do a Zercher squat from the floor. I mean, I dare say half of their arms wouldn't even get under the barbell. It'd definitely have to be on like Apollo's wheels, like big raised massive axle wheels for even them to get a chance at that. But yeah, I wouldn't hate seeing a Zercher squat, to be honest. It's a bit of a weird one to like explain to the viewers. But I do like it as like a cool feat of strength, and I love it as a training method. Yeah, it is hard to think of new and interesting events for sure, Ned. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Strongman's been around for a long while now, so everyone's almost tried everything, if that makes sense. But I'm sure there's like, I mean, you know what? You know what would be a really cool. I don't know if people would love or hate it, but recently in my programs, I've been doing max overhead lockouts. So you set the safeties up sort of like a head height, maybe slightly higher, and you lock out, and then you stand up locked out from like a quarter squat position. And I got up to like 180 kilo on that. And I'd just be really interested to see how heavy some of these guys could get on a lockout support like that. Like, if I can get up to 180 on that, like, surely we could see like 300 kilo. I don't know. But if anyone's seen me do that lift, or seen other people do that lift, where you set up the safeties really high and you like squat below it and lock it, stand up with your arms locked out, it's definitely an injury causer for sure. But I'd just be so interested to see what some of the guys could do with that sort of lift. Like, it'd be really, really sick to see. Yeah, Max is saying, I agree. 300 plus easy. Yeah, like, and that's the thing is, you don't see many of the other guys doing that accessory. Like, I did it because my overhead stability really wasn't the best, and it still probably isn't, but it was really helpful in building that stability. Like, once you've held 180 kilo above your head for a couple seconds, 115 kilo on a log feels like nothing now. But it'd be really interesting to see what sort of like weights these other guys could push on it. And there's probably a reason why they don't do that exercise. It probably is fairly dangerous, but I'd be interested to see. Sway saying max weight sled drag would be cool, similar setup to the Arnold's. Yeah, that would be really sick actually. You know what would be really cool, like that Arnold setup is, how with the squat and deadlift apparatus they have at Worlds, like a keg drops in every rep. Imagine dragging the sled, and every 5 meters an extra keg gets added to the sled, and you've just got to keep dragging it as it gets heavier and heavier, because then you're like comparing that with the fatigue of dragging it further, but also it's getting heavier and heavier. I'd love to see something like that. It'd be really cool. Sled drags are like tractor pulls. The sled gets heavier the farther you go. Yeah, like I really like that idea. I really do. Sway saying, did my first novice comp yesterday, PB'd on every event, even after nearly dropping the 80 kilo log on my head, lol. Well, that's the main way. Absolutely smashed it, mate. If you're PBing every event, that means the comp went absolutely perfectly for you, because that's all you can ask for. Like, you're going to do your best work on comp day, so I've never felt as sore as I do today. I can absolutely attest to that. I will say a very funny story about my first ever Strongman comp. It was, I believe, in 2021. I don't know if any of you watching this stream were around on this channel a long enough time ago to remember when I did my first comp, because I've been doing this channel literally since the month I started training. So I've got a full catalogue of lifting all the way back from when I first started. But my first comp was, I believe, September 2021. It may have been a different year, I can't remember, but it was a novice comp, Cardiff Strongest Man novice, and I came 6th overall. But me being me, thinking that I am hard as nails, an absolute tough nut, after absolutely destroying myself on this competition, and I mean destroying myself. Like, the first event was farmer's walk for max distance, 100 kilo per hand, and I came 2nd on the event doing about 80 meters, and I remember going in and just throwing up my entire innards in the bathroom straight after that event, and then coming out and doing 200 kilo deadlift for reps, and my PB in training was like 2 or 3, and I got something like 8. I thought that after that day, it was like a 7-hour comp day. It was a very, very long comp day. There were lots of classes and stuff going on, but when I finished that, I got back to my house in Cardiff. I had a fat Chinese, and I went, you know what, I feel pretty good. Let's go on a night out, as most students do when you're a stupid student. So we decided, let's go out, let's go clubbing, let's go on a night out on the town. And I remember being stood at about midnight in the queue for this nightclub, and both of my calves just went and cramped so badly that I had to just like sit on the floor. And I remember the bouncer coming over thinking that like I was completely drunk out of my mind, falling on the floor, that sort of thing. And I was like, no, my legs have just given up completely. And I just remember like hobbling home, barely able to walk because my entire like body was just shutting down because I was so sore. And I remember just going to sleep and waking up the next day just unable to move because I thought it'd be a good idea to go on a night out after my first ever strongman comp. That was an interesting one. I don't think I put that in the video for that comp, but it was a funny one. It really was. Matt saying, wish we had more comps in Norway. Missed out on a good rookie comp a few weeks ago. Yeah, we're very, very blessed in the UK with a lot of comps going on. And especially, like for me, I've got Paddy living half an hour away and he puts on a hell of a lot of strongman comps in the local area. Lots of people put them on. It's all over the UK now. Every county's got their county's strongest man. It's really accessible to get into. Like everyone I know, even people I know who I never thought would be doing strongman have signed up for their first novice comps to give it a go, just because there's one happening local at their university or something. Like, we're so lucky in the UK to have such a dense population of strongman fans here. Sway saying, I nearly doubled my Viking press PB in comp. I hit 80 kilo stone to shoulder for 5. Previous best was 2. But I nearly threw up after that. Yeah, honestly, I feel that. For me, Viking press in the comp, I think the weight they said was 140, and I thought that's ridiculously heavy for a Viking press. And this was in the Haynes Farm Inters comp last year, which I won. And I got like 13 reps on it, which was like way more than I ever thought I'd get. And it's just something about comp day with people cheering you on, good friends around you, doing your best. You just unlock a new level. So yeah, it's always awesome when you go in and hit, push yourself to the point of nearly throwing up, or in my case, actually throwing up, but coming out of it the other side, raring to go and ready to do another one. Alex saying, kind of funny how the Nordic countries used to basically be the premier region for strongman, but has kind of fallen off in recent years. I think it goes in waves, and I think the really interesting thing with strongman is obviously, like, we're very lucky in the UK is that strongman's always been something we're very focused on strength-wise. Like, we've got Scotland just above us. They've always had a rich strength history. And then with strongman, obviously, we've had Jeff Capes, and then, like, so many other great British strongmen over the years and, like, everyone knows what strongman is in the UK. Like, there's very few times that I tell people I'm a strongman in the UK and they don't know what that is. They know, like, Jeff Capes, they know World's Strongest Man. Whereas I'm sure in other countries, you just don't get that at all. And yeah, it's really interesting, as you say, how the Nordic countries, they used to have, like, a hell of a lot of top-level strongmen. But I feel like they now have a big density of sort of, like, mid-level strongmen, where there's lots of people in those countries that are good strongmen, but they're not quite world-class yet. Whereas before they had a lot of world's strongest man competitors and stuff. So yeah, it is interesting to see. Alex saying, never got close to puking during strongman, gotten close to passing out a couple of times though. You know what I find? I find it very interesting with people is you either get the people who pass out or the people who puke, and they never really cross over. Like for me, I've never really got close to passing out in a lift ever, but there's a few times where I've got close to puking. And I find, like, other people are the complete opposite. They get close to passing out a few times, but never get close to puking. It's a really interesting... I'd be interested to hear if there's anyone who's both. But for me, it's definitely puking rather than passing out. Matt's saying there's quite a few guys trying to reinvigorate the flame for strongman in Norway nowadays, at least. Yeah, I mean, and that's how it starts. Like, just people being invested, people doing their own strongman training and stuff like that. That's the way the sport grows. Like, the local level is what props up the sport, because most people who watch strongman do strongman, or have done strongman in the past. There's very few people I know who are just, like, pure strongman fans without any interest in at least training. So by building up the accessibility to strongman kit, strongman gyms, local level competitions. You just get more people watching the sport in general. I mean, that's how I got into the sport. Like, I started the sport just by Googling how to lift rocks safely, because it was lockdown and I needed to know how to train without hurting myself. And then I discovered like strongman was actually a big sport. Like, obviously I'd heard of World's Strongest Man growing up in the UK. I'd heard of Eddie Hall and his 500 kilo deadlift, but I hadn't heard of like other people really in the sport until I started Googling like how to do the training myself. Figured out it was actually like a viable sport to do. And then I saw there was local competitions to me, people doing it. Funnily enough, Paddy Haynes was one of the first people I'd ever heard of in strongman, because he's local to me. And I went to a gym, the first gym I ever really went to. I was getting PT there, and this was when I was 18, so a good few years ago now, like 2019 sort of time. So long before Paddy had really made a big splash in strongman at all, long before anyone else had really heard of Paddy, to be honest. And I remember I was doing deadlifts there, and one of the trainers there were like, "Oh, why are you deadlifting? Like, oh, have you heard of Eddie Hall and that?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to do strongman. Trying to do strongman. That's the sport I want to do." And the PT went, "Oh, there's this guy near Banbury who does strongman. His name's Paddy Haynes." And I was like, "Cool." And then I realised years later that now I'm good friends with Paddy. I'm like, "Oh, I remember that conversation now." But he was one of the first people I ever got mentioned that they do strongman, and this was long before he ever like did strongman to the level he's doing now, which is crazy. But yeah, Jane's saying quite a few strongmen started the sport due to lockdown. Can't think who. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I know started training because of lockdown, because there was literally nothing else to do. Like, crazy amounts of people. I'm sure a few strongmen did start in lockdown. Was it yeah, I feel like Reno may have mentioned 2020 sort of stuff. He's only been doing it a couple of years, hasn't he? So there are definitely a few though, for sure. Fred's saying, how many here are old enough to watch World's Strongest Man when it started? I happened to find it on TV the first year. Certainly not me. I mean, I was born in 2001, so that'll probably make a few of you feel quite old, but yeah, 2001 was when I was born, so Strongman had already been going on quite a while. For sure. Oh, yeah, so... And I remember distinctly... I remember when I was younger watching World's Strongest Man. I can't remember which years it would have been. It must have been like 2010, 2011, 2012. And I remember watching him back then when I was like 10, 11, 12 sort of age, when it was on over Christmas, but never really got into it properly. Yeah, really never really got into it properly, or really realised it was like a viable thing to do until I was like 18, 19 in lockdown. But it's mental. You see someone like Andre Foyt, who is my age, 23, and he's just doing like mental. Even like what was his, Alex Ferry as well. Like he was sick, really good on the UK Strongest Man. He's my age. It's crazy. Fred saying, Toby, you're younger than my youngest, who is 33. Wow, yeah. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm 23 at the minute. David was born in 1976, the year before it started. Yeah. Fred could be my dad. Fred could be my dad as well. John saying, I'm differently ancient to have seen all the World's Strongest Man comps. I mean, I've seen them all now, but definitely not live. You know, I caught up on them all way after the fact. But you know, we'll see in like 20 years' time, we get all the new youngsters coming in. But it's good. Like, strongman's immensely popular with people my age now. Like, I know a lot of people who watch strongman but don't have any interest in training, don't have any interest in competing, but they watch World's Strongest Man every Christmas, and they, because obviously if you know, like if someone knows me, like they'll text me at Christmas and go, look, it's World's Strongest Man on the telly. Who do you know out of these people? You know, I get it every year by about 5 or 6 different friends who are part of the strongman space. And even like yesterday, someone saw on Channel 5 UK's Strongest Man was live. They were like, oh, why aren't you competing? And I was like, oh, maybe in a couple of years, we'll see. But yeah, it's definitely a big thing. It's much bigger now as well. Like a lot of people my age and younger are getting into it. And I think it's the YouTube scene and the social media scene that are getting more and more people into it. Like some of the strongman channels are enormous now, absolutely massive. So more and more people see them, and it's really cool. Like I feel like strongman's going to grow. Like it's already grown massively in the last few years. Like even since I got into it, like 5 years ago, it's already grown absolutely massively. Like give it another 5 years, and I think it's going to be absolutely massive. Fred saying, I told Loz once I could be his dad. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember when I told Loz I was like 23. I was like, oh, it's not fair. But then again, Loz coaches some guys who are far younger than me and far stronger, so he's seen it all, I'm sure. Alex saying, my first taste of strongman was seeing the 2008 World's Strongest Man at a local microbrew pub as a kid. And I mean, shout out that pub, because they are playing strongman on the TVs. And I think strongman's such a good pub TV show. Like all the UK pubs at the minute, they're all playing football and cricket and all these boring sports I don't care about. Like stick strongman on the TV in a pub, and I'm sure you'll have a load of drunk people cheering on people lifting everything's. Like I think it's one of the best things you could put on a TV at a pub. I think, like, imagine just drinking away, getting absolutely blasted, and then you see someone flipping a car on the TV. Like, you're going to watch it, you're going to be entertained. Andrew saying Trey has posted some vids, proper old school. Trey's YouTube channel is honestly one of my favourite of the strongman channels. Like, the more unedited and raw the content is, the better, in my opinion. A lot of the guys, at least a couple years ago, were trying to go this super over-edited, dramatised way of making videos. And I think now we're seeing more and more channels just figure out that you can just pick up a phone, record yourself training, chat a bit to it, upload it, and people will enjoy that more. And that's certainly the sort of content I make and the sort of content I enjoy. So people like Shane Flowers' channel's doing bits again. I'm so glad Shane's back posting. Ben Glasscock's channel's really good. Obviously Paddy's channel's really good. Like a lot of these guys are just making super easy to digest content. Terry Holland's content as well. And that's the thing, is it's regular, and the guys' personalities are good enough to carry the channel anyway, so they don't need to edit it massively. But yeah, Matt's is saying a lot of pub goers would also claim they could do that. They sure could. Like, they soon realise they can't. Dalton, Toby, how about a live announcement ahead of time? Lol. I did schedule the live. I scheduled it this morning. I absolutely did. You missed it, but I did schedule it. But yeah, I did give it a bit short notice, but also I didn't really realise I was going to go live until later. But how are you doing, Dalton? How's things? Alex saying, most places around me either have baseball or American football, neither of which interest me. Yeah, absolutely. Get Strongman on the TV at every establishment, I think. Dalton saying, Texas Boys channel is phenomenal. Texas Boys channel is fantastic. It's a shame they've sort of been MIA a bit recently. They haven't really posted that much. But yeah, I know it's like, it is hard to post regularly, especially if you're paying a videographer and an editor, because it takes a hell of a long time to see any money back from YouTube at all. Like, even me, I've been doing YouTube consistently weekly for 5 years now, and only in the last few months have I seen any sort of revenue back from the channel at all, and it's by no means anywhere near enough to support like hiring an editor, hiring a videographer, anything like that. So I feel like unless you're doing it yourself with your own camera, it's very hard to be consistent with it. David saying, Brian Shaw just posted a new video. I will make sure to watch it after this stream is done then. I just watched Paddy's Behind the Scenes UK's Strongest Man video just before starting this live stream as well. And yeah, again, shout out Paddy, his YouTube channel's doing bits as well. EJB saying, think all the big channels like Brian and Eddie used to do good training content. Now it's just clickbait. I bought a tank or a chicken coop. There's loads of crap. Yeah, like I just miss when, because obviously I started watching Strongman content before I ever started training. So I used to watch Eddie Hall's YouTube channel back like 2020 when I started, and the training sessions used to be very, very good. Like, and I loved just a lot of the raw training, solid training stuff. And I'm really glad like Mitch Hooper has got his raw training channel now just to appease us Strongman fans, and so he can continue to do all the clickbaity stuff on his main channel. Like, I think a lot of the other channels would benefit from doing something like that. It probably earns them fuck all money, to be honest, but you know, clickbait is where the money comes in, and if I wanted to make thousands of thousands off of YouTube, I could easily clickbait all of the Strongman drama, all of this stuff, and like make such more high. It just doesn't interest me, so I'm not going to do it. But I could clickbait every single day, but yeah, I'm not gonna bother. Matt saying Martin's also posted the Norway Strength Unknown episode a few minutes ago. Yeah, I just saw the notification pop up for that. Very excited to watch that after the stream's done. Jane saying my all-time favourite YouTuber is Alexi How It Was. Yeah, absolutely. I love Alexi's channel. He posted yesterday, didn't he? I still need to watch that video, but Alexi's channel's awesome. Mateusz's channel's awesome. Just these raw, you know, classic videos are what I like. Andrew saying Paddy and Daisy have a great vibe on their vlogs. Yeah, and like from chatting with Paddy and knowing Paddy, it's the exact same vibe as they hold in real life as well. So, like, and that's how you should do YouTube. Like, putting on a clickbaity, over-exaggerated character is going to get tiresome very quickly. Like, if you just turn on a camera and waffle to it exactly how you would do in real life, it's, for one, it's easier to keep on top of because you're not doing anything differently that requires much effort. For two, it's easier for people to build a connection with you and understand your personality. And for three, yes, it might take a longer while to see anything back from it, but it might, like, you might not blow up at all, or if not very instantly, but the audience you do build are the audience that are going to stick around and watch every video. Like, it's always the same names in the comment section on every video I post now, and now I've got that core loyal audience that I could post pretty much whatever and most of you would stick around, which is the way that you're going to have longevity on YouTube. And I'm fortunate enough that I'm not relying on YouTube for any sort of income, and I do it just purely as a hobby. And I think that's how you have to approach it, because unless you're clickbaiting or one of the best in the world at something, it's very hard to do anything big on YouTube. So just treat it as a bit of a side hustle and just have some fun with it, and there you go. Alex saying, has everyone seen Casually Explains World's Strongest Man video? It's pretty great. Yes, I have. It is a very, very good one. Dalton saying Eddie's channel shifted when Rob Bailey was no longer in his intro. God, yeah, I remember that back in the day for sure. Jane saying Shane, Paddy and Ben are good to watch. Yeah, they've all got fantastic channels, all really good. A lot of the Strongman channels lately have been good. I mean, I'll go on my watch history and we'll see who I've watched recently. So yeah, Paddy, Ben, Alexi. I did watch Alexi's video. There we go. I thought I hadn't, but I had. But yeah, like all of these guys, obviously Loz. In fact, like everyone watches Loz's channel. I don't need to shout out Loz, do I? So... but yeah, all of these guys do really great YouTube stuff. There are so many channels that used to post a lot that have sort of disappeared a bit as well, I've noticed. Like, obviously, Bobby Thompson used to do Breakfast with Bobby that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Luke Richardson's videos when he did those a bit more regularly, and when he appeared on Shane MST's channel. Evan Singleton did some really good YouTube videos, actually, thinking about it. Some really good sit-down, explainy videos. They've always been really good. And I just like that style of video more, where it's less about the clickbaity title, thumbnail vibe of the video. And obviously, you do have to have a title and thumbnail. That's the problem with it. You have to have a solid title, solid thumbnail. Otherwise, YouTube isn't going to push it at all. You have to play the YouTube game, even if the video content isn't. The title, the thumbnail, it has to be clickable. Otherwise, YouTube's algorithm just doesn't push it. But the YouTube videos, for Strongman at least, that I watch more of are the ones that don't play into the YouTube algorithm as much. and it's just pure either waffle, sitting down, chatting about strongman, chatting about life, chatting about training, or it is just the training itself. All of that sort of thing is exactly what tickles my pickles. So Bence is here, a bit late to the party, but hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing very well, thank you mate. It's still a bit warm here in the UK, but very, very good. How are you doing? Glad to have you with us. Dalton saying Rob Curdy's channel was great, he and Joey were hilarious together. Yeah, Rob had a very, very good channel. Really, really good. And I see, a lot of these people who came in, they posted for a while, especially sort of around COVID time and a little bit after as well, when people generally have more time on their hands, and have now disappeared off. Because it is true, like, you don't see too much kickback from YouTube, at least in the first instance. Like, you have to be one of these channels pushing hundreds of thousands of subscribers and 50-60,000 views a video to really make it worth it and make a living off of it. But if you're consistent like me and do a video every week that gets a couple hundred views a week, you know, you're going to get a bit of pocket money back off of it. And I mean, as you could probably tell, the effort on my videos, it's not no effort, but it is lower effort. It takes me, rather than a full day to make a video, it takes me an hour of recording and an hour and a half of editing or something, and it's done. Whereas some people are too perfectionist over it. Some people put way too much time in it. But the main thing of the game is just be consistent with it, and it will slowly accumulate an audience and build up. But I think Strongman YouTube's in a really good place, to be honest. We've got a lot of good channels making content, and a lot of people don't necessarily discover them too often. And I think we need to do better as channels, is shouting each other out and giving each other a boost, because like someone like Ben is doing fantastic things in the world of Strongman at the minute. And he's making really, really good videos, but some people just aren't discovering that he's got a channel. So it's worth going to check out. I mean, unless you post a short that's going to get 10 million views like Paddy Haynes, you're not going to get hundreds of thousands of subscribers overnight. So it's all about, like, if you're a Strongman fan, you're part of the Reddit, you're part of online communities like this, just shouting out to each other where the good Strongman content is, and we'd see it. Alex saying, I would love to see Rob bring his channel back, but he's crazy busy running his CrossFit gym with Joey. I keep meaning to go down and take one of his classes. He's my favourite strongman, and he's just 2 hours from me. Yeah, absolutely. Go and see. Go and train with him. Like, I've tried my best to get out and about the different strongman gyms in the area. I'm so bad for just not leaving the house. Like, you've probably seen, I just don't go anywhere. So I'm so bad for, like, I've got Paddy half an hour from me, Loz just under an hour from me, and I just don't get out enough. But every time I do, it's such good fun. I wonder why I don't. Yeah, Jane's saying, I only found out Ben had a channel way too recently. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just it's hard to find because YouTube doesn't push smaller channels at all, and it's just through word of mouth that you hear it. So we just need to make the words from our mouths louder so that more and more people hear it and do that spreading job for YouTube, essentially. Dalton saying, Devon Larratt has proven you can have a successful channel with minimal effort as long as the content is great. Absolutely. And I mean, if you've got a personality like Devon Larratt, like, you're going to have a successful channel no matter what you do. Devon's got such a personality and such a presence that it's very interesting. Another person who's proven that is Eric Bugenhagen as well. Like, he just sticks a camera on and talks for 45 minutes in front of a TV, and it's some of the best content that I watch. Like, you don't have to put in super massive amounts of effort. You just have to be entertaining, be, you know, present and be personable, and people will watch. Dalton saying, not a strongman, but strongman channel. I wonder why Jace hasn't posted in a while. Hopefully is everything good with him. Yeah, I wondered why Jace hadn't posted as well. Jace likes my Instagram reels every so often, so he's still about, but I was expecting him to post through Worlds, but we didn't see it. But again, life's busy. I've been the same recently. Like, life's just been really busy, and unfortunately YouTube has to take the back seat, because it's like, even though it might be the most important thing for me as a hobby, it's not paying the bills. It's not doing that sort of stuff. So it's like, work's got to take precedent, life's got to take precedent, and it means that unfortunately YouTube has to take a back seat. So expect it's something similar for Jace. Like, he's probably just got a busy life at the minute and has to take time away. And I'm sure I will at some point soon as well. Like, I've been good that I've managed to keep about weekly. Recently, it's not quite the 3 a week I was doing, but you know, life's busy, and until YouTube does actually start paying the bills, it's going to have to take the back seat when work and life takes over. Jane saying, I enjoy Lucas and Alex chats. Yeah, me too. They've got a fantastic channel. I really enjoy their podcast, and they do a really good job of shining the light on a lot of the smaller competitions and more unknown athletes that people don't hear about so often. So for pure like strongman nerddom and strongman knowledge, like Lucas and Alex podcast chats are some of the best for discovery. Like, they do a really good job of shouting people out. Andrew saying, even for me who watches a lot of YouTube, it is not great at letting me know about the smaller channels. Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing, is it just doesn't make YouTube money. Like, before I was monetized on YouTube, which was only in January of this year, it was hard to get my channel out there and discovered to people who didn't know of me just through Strongman and osmosis. And then as soon as I got monetized and I could make YouTube a cut of the money that I'm earning from ad revenue, it just took off. Like, my channel doubled in size in a matter of months, and that's just because now I'm able to make YouTube money and I'm not as small of a channel as I was. Now they're going to push me. And for someone like Ben Glasscock's channel, he's only got, I believe, about 600 subscribers, which is not enough to hit the monetization threshold. So YouTube's not going to push him until he has at least 1,000, which is when he can start earning YouTube some money. And that's just unfortunately how it is. It's just money pushes it all on YouTube, and until we're of an asset to YouTube and we can earn the money, they're not going to push us, which is unfortunate. Alex saying, I know Jace mentioned dealing with some health issues a little while back. Hope he's doing all right. Yeah, I hope he's doing good as well, man. He's had a good channel. Dalton saying, plus Alec has an epic beard. He certainly does. Puts mine to shame a bit. Although mine's looking pretty solid at the minute. It's doing quite well. I'm in desperate need of a haircut though. It's getting quite long up here, but the beard is certainly doing well. Fred, member for 4 months. Hey, I got a milestone. Cool. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Fred. I know I have neglected the members only section for a little while. As I've just mentioned, like, life's busy, work's busy, and if the main videos on YouTube are taking a back seat, it just means the members only videos are taking even more of a back seat. Obviously, I uploaded that one training session with Loz on the members only section because I had that sat in the back burner a bit, because I was going to make it a main channel video, but then I realised it didn't make that great of a video. I didn't get enough filmed. I didn't really get much of what I wanted filmed, so I thought it would be good for members only. But I am planning to bring the members only section back up to scratch for everyone. Like, I just need ideas for the members only section, because at the end of the day, I don't want to make the members only section just a waste of time of me waffling about nonsense. Like, I want it to be something worth paying for and worth supporting the channel for. So if anyone has any ideas what sort of content we want to see on the members only section, especially like Fred and Jane, 2 of my members, and thank you very much, Jane, for the 1 month member chat. Again, supporting the channel from you guys it goes massively a long way to helping me keeping this channel going. Like, it really does. It really, really does help out. So yeah, if you guys have anything you want to see in the members only section, just let me know and I'm sure I will get them done. Dalton saying, I checked out your and Jace's channels from Mitch, giving you all a shout out. I stay because of the top-notch content. Yeah, I have to give it to Mitch. He's been very complimentary of this channel, and it has helped grow this channel quite a bit. Just being present in those live streams like Loz Sunday Strongman, Mitch's training streams, that sort of thing. Me being present in there has definitely seen a big growth in the channel, and I try my best to make good content. You know, I'll be the first to say it's not like the highest quality, it's not the best edited. You know, I'm by no means a professional, but I feel like I have a very decent insight for what I'm talking about, and I don't talk to Strongman about anyone else, so it's nice to talk about it with such a wide community here, because I talk to you guys every week anyway in the Sunday Strongman chats, so we can keep it going on the channel as well. But yeah, I was really appreciative of Mitch shouting out my channel. There's actually quite a few of the pro strongman guys that I know are around and about, aware of the channel or watch it regularly. A few of them now follow me on Instagram, and that's just really cool. Really, really cool that any of the guys that I watch, on the live streams doing well, follow this stuff. It's really cool. Jane saying, I just want to support the channel. Really appreciated during World's Strongest Man, and thank you very, very much for that. Same with you, Fred, as well. Even though the members only section doesn't offer more than a cool badge at the minute and 15-20 videos, the support is always welcome, and it's really appreciative. And I think we can make the members only section pretty damn good. Matt saying, I think I discovered your channel in either Mitch or Loss's live streams. Yeah, a lot of people found me through the live stream chats, and I mean, I'm just in there to chat strongman. I'm not. It's I think it's probably quite obvious that I'm not in there going, everyone subscribe to me, everyone look, check out my channel. I've never once mentioned in the chat that I have a channel, really. It's always been either from shout outs or people just happen upon it, because I don't think right about going on and shouting about having a channel, because that's their hard work to build their channel. I don't want to come in and just nab it off them, if that makes sense. And also, Dalton, thank you very much for joining the member club. I can see you say, I thought I'd signed up a while ago. Well, absolutely no pressure to sign up at all, but thank you so much for doing so. It helps out absolutely massively. Andrew saying, it was pleasing to hear Mitch say he would like to meet you in person. It was definitely pleasing to say, but also I have met Mitch in person. So no, I'm sure he meets thousands of people, and I only met him for sort of 5-10 minutes once. So I don't expect him to remember it at all. But it was just kind of funny being I'd love to meet you in person, having already met me in person. But this was in Cardiff 2022, I think, and I think my channel had about 300 subs back then, and I was half the size I am now. So I don't blame him for not remembering that small conversation. But yeah, hopefully when I'm up in Birmingham, I'll be able to catch up with a lot of people if I can. Obviously, they'll all be competing and stuff, but I think if I can get up in Birmingham early in the day, have some lunch out, catch up with some people, it'll be pretty cool. So we'll see if we bump into Mitch. We will see, or bump into anyone really. Always down for a chat. Ben saying, I found you during World's Strongest Man. Your name was obviously familiar from the chats. Yeah, I think World's Strongest Man did an absolute wonder for my channel, and I'm glad it did, because I booked that week off of work and I stayed up far too late making the World's Strongest Man content, knowing it was the prime time to grow the channel, and it definitely paid off. I think my video talking about Reino winning was the first of the YouTube channel's videos on the World's Strongest Man results, so obviously that did very well because I was the first one to get that out, and that was a real point of pride for me getting that done first. But yeah, it massively helped out at World's Strongest Man. Dalton saying, I can't speak for everyone, but I sign up for memberships to support the channels and creators that I want to support. Members content is just a bonus. Yeah, I'm the exact same. I currently only have 2 members sections signed up for, and it's Loz and Liz, and I'm signed up for Mitch's. Mitch's for me was more just just for the members only content, because his exercise bank and hour-long seminars on different exercises and stuff have all been really useful for me. So that one I will say was purely for the members only content, because Mitch is smashing it. He doesn't need my $5's worth of support, he's doing very well. So that was for the extra content, but Loz and Liz is just for supporting them, because they are the pioneers of strongman content, really. They're carrying it on their back and they're doing very well. Bence, thank you so much for joining the members only club as well. That is absolutely awesome. I will keep reiterating the fact that every new member is such a huge help for this channel. It makes it more and more worth it to keep it afloat, keep it going, and pay for making the content itself, because even though it doesn't pay Like, as in, I don't spend any money on it in terms of camera equipment, editing, cameramen, that sort of thing. It's still my own time, and it's still time that I'm doing away from my job and other income streams that is, you know, really well worth it. So thank you very much for the support. Dalton's saying you should do a BTS video at a comp, show those of us who haven't competed but are considering it what to expect. I have done videos for every comp that I've done. Pretty much, I think, maybe apart from the first comp I ever did, but certainly both farm comps and both Oxfordshire's Strongest Mans, I did vlogs for those. I will also plan to do sort of a vloggy type video for going up to Birmingham and watching the deadlift champs, but for sure, like every comp that I do or go to, I like to make a video on. Hater XXX, what's up, man? I haven't seen you live since Worlds. Yeah, I've not been live since Worlds. I've just not had the time, really. And now I've had, you know, an afternoon free. I thought I'd jump in and chat to you all, get on live a bit this afternoon. I plan to do some more in the next few weeks. I'll probably do like a live pre-show to the Strongman Classic, a bit like I did at Worlds, those sorts of things. So expect more lives in the future. I've just been so busy recently. Ben's saying, can relate, Hungary is 1 time zone away from you, didn't get much sleep during Worlds. Yeah, it was a tough weekend, but it was so well worth it. Dalton saying, Mitch mentioned he'd be at Wiltshire's. Liz is going to have an epic cheering section. Yes, and I will mention that I will be at Wiltshire's as well. It is, I believe, the next day after Birmingham, isn't it? But again, it's super close to me. I don't know why I didn't go last year. Again, it's just my problem of not going outside. But I will definitely be there to cheer on Liz and everyone else competing. I did nearly compete in it myself, to be honest, but I think I missed the sign up for the men's opens. That section always fills up so quickly, but I'll definitely be there in person to watch Wiltshire's anyway. You know, just support Strongman, support local Strongman. Andrew saying, I was a member of Mitch early on, got the Crab King t-shirt due to budget. I let it drop. Yeah, and that's the thing is, I would support, like, I'd get Paddy's members section, I get any of the other guys' members section, but you know, the more memberships I subscribe to, the less affordable it is. And in the current climate, you know, I have to hold on to pretty much everything that I can get at the minute. Obviously, being a young man planning for the future, you've got to just save as much money as you can. So once I'm in a bit of a better position, which I'm in a very fortunate and lucky position, but if anything changes, I will definitely be signing up to more. Fred's saying we need a Wiltshire's live stream. We absolutely do. Hater saying, don't forget to leave a like on the stream, guys. It helps the channel to get out to more people. It absolutely does. If you are watching, leave a like on the stream. Thank you very much. Matt saying, live watch along to the Strongman Classic. I probably won't do a watch along, just because when I'm watching my Strongman, I like to have my feet up. I like to have my popcorn. I like to chill out. But I'll certainly do a live pre-show of the Strongman Classic. A big chat beforehand will definitely be happening. Dalton saying, yep, I'm planning on going too. Well, then I will see you there, Dalton, for sure. And if you're going to be at Birmingham as well, definitely come and find me and say hello. As I said, I'm going there in person. I'll be probably in Birmingham around and about for most of the day beforehand, before the show starts. So if you see me, do not hesitate to come up and say hello and hang out for a bit, because that will be awesome. Everyone I've met who watches the channel or follows me on Instagram or anything has been absolutely lovely. I've met quite a few people at various different comps, either ones that I've done and or you know, Giants Lives I've been to, that sort of thing, and everyone's just been phenomenally nice. Like, this community is one of the best. It's honestly awesome. Hater XXX saying, do you ever travel to the US? I have been to the US once, and it was long before I ever did any sort of strongman and anything like that. But it's just so expensive to travel anywhere, to be honest, especially the US. So it's just not affordable for me right now. Dalton saying, instead of Liz and Monica, we could do a Dalton and Toby watch along. We could, to be fair. That'd be funny. But I think we probably shouldn't. But it'd be good. Ben's saying, I have to leave now. Have a nice Sunday and nice week, everyone. Cheers. Well, thank you very much, Bens, for coming along, supporting the channel, hanging out. And to be honest, I am probably going to leave in the next 10 minutes myself, because we have been on for an hour and 20 minutes. I was going to only do about an hour, on the live stream, but I've decided to go a bit longer. So let's give it 10 more minutes till 6 p.m. my time, and then we will call it a day. So if anyone has any questions for me, anything you want me to talk about, get them in the chat now, and we will have sort of the next 10 minutes to wind up and finish up. But yeah, I appreciate all of you for coming and hanging out for this last sort of hour and a half. It's been a very good, fun live. And it just reminds me that I will be doing more lives for sure. And I'll try and schedule them a bit further in advance for people who need the notification. It is saying, we have some great comps here in Texas. If you could stand the heat, we would love to have you. I mean, I absolutely can't stand the heat, but I would still love to go to Texas for sure. It's just, again, so expensive to travel, but hopefully when I can afford it, I will be going, because Texas is one of those places I'd love to see. Andrew saying, see most of you later on Liz and Loz. Yes, I will absolutely be there for sure. I don't think I've missed a Liz and Loz live stream in a hell of a long time. I think I've always caught them. I feel like I've been quite good always in the chat there. And I'm loving the fact that they've said they would like to get some more guests on for the Sunday Strongman lives. Like the one they did with Paddy was really cool. I'd love to see some more with various different strongmen, because it's not often. I don't know why a lot of the other guys don't do more lives. Obviously, I've just started doing them recently. But any of the other guys like Paddy, Ben, Shane, any of these guys with channels, just sitting down for an hour and chatting. I don't know why more of them don't do it. Like, I need to do it certainly way more. It is just a time thing, but everyone can commit an hour here and there. I'd bet half of them don't know how to set one up is probably the reason. Strongmen aren't the most technologically literate people in the world. Dalton's saying, Liz said you don't have AC over there. How the hell do you survive? Well, Dalton, to make all of the other Brits jealous, this here is an AC unit. I've got a portable one. It cost me a hell of a lot of money, but it was a hell of a lot of money well spent, because every year, I've had it for 2 years now, and every year we've had these sort of heat waves in the UK where everyone's dying, and I've been sat in a lovely air-conditioned 18-degree room. But yeah, it's definitely 99% of Brits don't have AC. I just made sure that I did. Hater saying, you should see if you can get on a live with them at some point to help grow the community. Look, if they want to have me on, they know that I will be absolutely up for it at any point. But obviously, I don't have much to add in the same way as any of the pro strong men and strong women have, because obviously the pro guys have a lot more interesting stuff to say. I just waffle about strongman and stuff, but if more people want to see me on a stream with them, just I'm sure it can happen. I'm always up for it. It's just whether or not they want to have me on, basically. But it will never be a no, put it that way. Matt's saying, yeah, European heat is different. At least in Norway, heat pumps AC is quite common. That's mostly because of the cold. Yeah, UK is sort of that weird middle ground where we're not cold enough or hot enough usually to have any sort of special protection. So it's like when it snows, the country shuts down because no one has any infrastructure to deal with the snow. When it's hot, the country shuts down because no one has any infrastructure to deal with the heat. Hater saying Texas is still preheating, but when I did cardio at 4 a.m. this morning, it was already 86 degrees, and I bet it felt nicer than our 20-degree heat that we have here. Like, honestly, I've been in some very hot countries. I've been places where it's 45 degrees Celsius, and it was still better than 25 degrees in the UK for sure. Dalton saying, but that's not standard for every house, like central AC. Sounds like torture. No house has AC here, Dalton, unless you're like a millionaire and have it purpose built. My house doesn't have AC. This is just a portable AC unit that I bought, that I just stick a tube out the window. But no, I've not been to any house in the UK that has AC. I've never heard of anyone having central AC in the houses at all. It is absolute torture. Fred saying, Toby, just drive there and jump on uninvited. If I knew where the house was, no, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, no, I'd love to go on. Of course, why wouldn't I? I love sitting here and waffling about strongman. So waffling about strongman with friends is even better. Dalton saying it was a great index of like 105 to 108 here yesterday. Heat index. Interesting. Matt's saying 30 degrees Celsius in Florida is way easier to handle than 23 in Norway. Yeah, I'm sure it's the same here in Britain. Like, yesterday it got up to 31 Celsius here in Britain. And 31 Celsius in UK heat is honestly just absolutely horrendous. Like, it's disgusting. Even with the AC on, it was bad. Because the AC was working twice as hard and just not getting half the results. It was rotten. And the worst thing is the portable AC unit doesn't work in the garage gym because it needs a window for the heat to be pumped out of, and the garage has no windows, and you can't just open the door because that lets all the heat in. So it was roasting in the garage yesterday, trying to do log singles and 10-second locked out log holds in that heat. I was just slimy, I was dripping, it was awful, it was so hard. I'm glad that it's now getting a bit cooler this week because it was rough, it really was. Yeah, it was nasty. But anyway, I think I am going to wrap up now, or at least in the next couple minutes. So any final questions, type them quickly. Otherwise, I will not answer them. So I'll give you 1 more minute to type anything further you have for me. Otherwise, I am going to pop off. Have some dinner, and then we will jump on Loz and Liz's live stream later, and I'll chat to you all in the chat there. Alex saying thanks for the stream. No problem. Thank you all for hanging out. We will definitely be doing some more streams in the future. They're so much fun. They really are. So, you know, why wouldn't we do more? Hater saying, have a good day, bro. Good to see your channel growing. Thank you so much, Hater. Like, absolutely. It's awesome to see this channel have such a community now. It's crazy. I remember posting 4 or 5 years ago, posting weekly videos that were getting like 30, 40 views total, and now we're getting like a couple hundred views a video, and it's mental. And then like some videos are getting over 1,000 views, which is insane to comprehend. So it's crazy. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the stream, and I will catch you all later on.